and that's what we're going to be doing today. So very simple. We're doing the plenum spacer. This is a 5/16 plenum spacer. I decided to go with the machined plastic, honestly, because one of the price is it was quite cheap. It was under $100, and also because the plastic isn't going to transfer heat from the lower plenum to the upper plenum as much as a aluminum or any other material. I've really only seen aluminum and plastic. All right, so to start off, as you can see, I already have my intake taken out because I had just mocked up and installed the cold air intake, but I took it out because I knew I was doing this. So if anything, you'll have a stock air tube here to a box, and you don't have to take out the box. The box won't be in your way. Just take the tube out. There should be a Phillips head hose clamp here and also down on the box itself. So you're gonna want to disconnect those and get that out of your way so it's nice and free like this. Besides getting the tube out of the way, all you have is this one electrical connection here, and then there's two coolant lines. So you have this line coming from right beside the valve cover up. The way it's routed might be a little different in your car, and this one goes right into, not that right there, that's a bolt. You actually come around this coolant line right here. You can actually lift it up. It's the one that comes bent towards you right there. And then right underneath of where my thumb is, you can actually see this coolant line right here. That's the hard line coming out of the bottom of the throttle body. And this right here is the actual coolant line. So you have one going in and one coming out. And like I said, besides that, this is just the electrical connection. So you're gonna wanna, more than likely, you're gonna have to loosen the bolts on the top to give you some play so that you can slip the pliers in here. And also, depending on which way your clamp is faced, might give you a little difficulty. So when I put them back on, I always make sure I face them in the direction that I can reach. So the next time I have to take it off, it's a lot easier. Like you see this one, you see how the pinch point is facing towards me, as well as this one right here. So just a little trick. If you're putting it back together, be mindful of things like that. We have 7 bolts right here. Now, when you take these out, be mindful of the length. These are long, and then, these 4 are long, and these 3 are short. All right, so removal, besides the bolts and the coolant lines, your air tube, that's basically it. It's just the outer bolts as well. There's like 10 or 11 bolts on the outside. And if you're doing this, I would really suggest replacing this gasket right here. Now, this one right here. Now, this one's brand new, so that's why I'm going ahead and doing this. If it wasn't, I'd be putting a new one in there. And so this goes on the bottom. It can only go on the bottom because it's bolted in by this other piece right here. But on the top, what I'm gonna do is, because I don't have a gasket, and they don't actually make one for the top that I've seen. Now, if I bought another one of these, I could modify it, but what I'm gonna do is just use a very, very thin layer of red RTV high temp silicone. The tiniest little amount will spread out quite a bit. So I'm just gonna put a very, very minimal amount, but just make sure it's completely solid all the way around. You don't wanna have gaps. So just make one small little line all the way around, and you'll know there won't be any air that can leak through there, because you don't want to have to go back and take this all back apart and do it again. All right, so she's in there and she fits in. Now, if you look inside like this one, and when I'm putting it on, I'm gonna have to, finagle it just a little bit. I mean, that's granted, it's plastic, and after being cut and cooling, it expands and contracts and stuff. So but overall, the fitment is perfect. All right, so that's gonna be the bottom side. So not much, just enough to get it to stick, and then once it tightens down, all that'll spread out and make a nice seal. So Alright, now that the spacers are all in there, I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger and come around. And just so I know that there's no air that can leak through these. And we got those that come down on top of here and seal. And metal to metal doesn't make the best airtight seal. So, I mean, sometimes it does when you can really crank it down, but these bolts are only getting cranked down to about 15 foot-pounds. Alright, so there we go. We got everything nice and sealed. So the key to this is not to drag it, because you'll end up leaving a lot more than you want. So you just kind of put a little bit of pressure and you tap it, and it kind of pulls it out and allows you to leave just, you know, enough on there. So I'm gonna get this sealed up, and hopefully everything lines up good and I don't have to take this apart and clean everything and do it again. Alright, so the only other thing you're gonna need while doing this is, I took and used a pick like this to go in the hole before I stuck the bolt in, to align the spacer that we had put in before, the little thick 5/16 washers in each of these. So I took this and dropped it in the hole, and it aligned it so the bolt could find its way. And then after that, those were all set, and then just torqued them all down,